the carp who dreamed of becoming a dragon. Long ago, in ancient China, the mighty yellow river roared like an angry beast. Every year, the water floods the land, drowning fields, homes, and even whole villages. Farmers watched helplessly as their crops vanished under muddy waves. Families climbed onto rooftops, praying the waters would fall. The village chief had had enough. "We cannot live like this forever," he said one day, watching the raging river. "We must stop the river god's mischief." So the villagers carried enormous boulders and rolled them into the river, hoping to block the water. They worked day and night, sweating under the hot sun. But the river was stronger. The waves crashed over the rocks and spilled across the land. Year after year, the floods returned. Many people and animals were lost to the river, and the chief finally admitted defeat. At last, he turned to his son, "You, he said, placing a hand on the young man's shoulder. "The fate of our people now rests with you." Yu was determined. Instead of fighting the river, he decided to understand it. For 13 long years, Yu traveled along the riverbanks. He studied the currents, the mountains, and the valleys. Sometimes he worked so hard he forgot to eat. Sometimes he passed his own home without even stopping. The heavens themselves noticed his dedication. High above the clouds, the Jade Emperor, ruler of heaven, watched Yu's efforts with admiration. "This young man has a noble heart," the emperor said. "He works not for himself, but for the people." So the Jade Emperor sent down his daughter, Tushannu, to marry Yu. Along with her came 2 magical gifts from heaven: a holy plow that could carve through earth like butter, a ghostly axe that could split the hardest stone. Now Yu was no longer alone. One evening, Yu and Tushannu sat beside the roaring river. "Blocking the river only makes it angrier," Yu said thoughtfully. Tushannu nodded. "Then we must guide it, not fight it." Suddenly, Yu's eyes lit up. "We'll dig a deep gorge through the mountains. The river can flow safely away instead of flooding the villages." The next morning, the villagers gathered with shovels, baskets, and picks. Everyone worked together. Day after day, month after month, the magical plow sliced through the soil while the ghostly axe cracked open giant stones. Slowly, a deep channel formed between the mountains. Finally, one morning, the river rushed through the new gorge like a silver dragon racing through the valley. The villages were safe. Cheers filled the air. To honor Yu and Tushannu, the people built a magnificent stone gate over the river and named it Yu Gate. But not everyone was celebrating. In the Yellow River, thousands of carpfish lived. When the river's water level dropped, the path back to their homes upstream became blocked by tall rocks. The carp tried jumping over the stones. Again and again they leapt. Splash! They crashed against the rocks. Soon the fish were bruised and battered. Their scales were torn, their whiskers bent, and their tails sore. Finally, the carp swam together to complain to Yu. Their leader, a large fish with shining scales, spoke angrily. "Look what has happened to us. We cannot return home. If you don't fix this, we will stir the river into huge waves again." Yu frowned at them. "Is this how you behave?" he said sternly. "The floods caused terrible suffering for many people." Then he pointed toward the tall stone gate. "If you truly are strong fish, jump through the Yu Gate and find your way home." The carp sighed. "We have tried," said the leader sadly, "but the gate is too high." The Jade Emperor's challenge. Tushannu stepped forward and looked at the wounded fish. Her heart softened at the sight of their torn scales and tired eyes. "Do not worry," she said kindly. "I will ask my father for help." That night she traveled to the heavens and spoke to the Jade Emperor. The next day she returned with an announcement. "My father has made a proclamation," she told the fish. "Any carp who successfully leaps over the Yu Gate will be transformed into a mighty dragon." The fish gasped. "A dragon! Dragons were the most powerful creatures in the sky, rulers of clouds and rain. The carp grew excited. One carp with bright golden scales swished his tail proudly. "Friends," he said confidently, "take care of yourselves. Soon I will return as a dragon soaring through the heavens." Every spring, an incredible sight began to appear near the U-gate. Thousands of carp gathered in the rushing water. Splash! One fish leapt into the air. Splash! Another followed. Again and again they tried, their bodies flashing in the sunlight. Most fell back into the river, but sometimes one carp soared higher than the rest, with a final powerful flick of its tail. Whoosh! It cleared the gate. In a burst of golden light, the fish transformed into a magnificent dragon, soaring into the clouds with blazing scales and a fiery tail. The dragon would circle the sky proudly before disappearing among the clouds. Below, the other carp looked up with hopeful eyes. "Next time," they whispered, "next time it will be me." In ancient China, students studied for many years to pass the difficult imperial examinations. Those who succeeded could become important officials and change their families' lives forever. People often compared these students to the brave carp. Just like the fish struggling to leap over the dragon gate, students worked tirelessly toward their dreams. The moral of the story: hard work, courage, and determination can transform an ordinary person into an extraordinary one. Just like the carp that leaps over the dragon gate, anyone who keeps trying, even after many failures, may one day rise higher than they ever imagined. Thanks for listening. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, take care and bye-bye.